I used to be on the board of an organization called Oxfam, and Oxfam was an organization that specialized in alleviating world hunger. And I was concerned about the fact that there was no Jewish representation on that board, and that it was very fitting that Jews who are important philanthropists and who care a great deal about world hunger should have their own organization. And so we formed an organization called the American Jewish World Service. And it was then formed with several people who were leading exponents of the theory of wanting to do this. The Hebrew expression is tikkun olam, to help the world, to help repair the world. And there was a good part of the Hebrew tradition, which was that you're supposed to spend a part of your life trying to repair the world. So that's how we started. And we had the help of many important leaders of the Jewish community. In the beginning, it took a great deal of time. It meant traveling around the country. It meant talking to all kinds of people, labor leaders, religious leaders. And we slowly recruited dozens and then hundreds and then thousands of people who were interested in the cause philosophically and monetarily and financially. I connected with Elie Wiesel because he became instantly attracted to this organization, and he was on the original board of American Jewish World Service. He was one of our lead speakers. He spoke brilliantly about the importance of your fellow man, regardless of race, color, or religion. And so yeah, he gave a very important lesson to all of us. We opened an office in Boston. We then opened one in New York and San Francisco. There were projects in many countries in Central America and South America. I went to the projects in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Honduras, and the Philippines. Part of the work was refugee areas, and there it was particularly important when we went to people like those in Tibet who became refugees and persecuted by the then Chinese government. A lot of them fled to India, to a place called Hansur. It was a project that was led by my son, David Phillips, which has become very successful and was very important in providing a home for Tibetan refugees. It was an important prerequisite that the people understand that this was funded by Jews primarily, and that the people who were effectuating it were primarily Jews. But the work on the field was done by local people. And that's what became important. It's not something that you can impose from the outside. And so a combination of working together between the people in the United States and the local people in each of those countries helped spur the idea and spurs it to this day. Giving back is a very important part of the philosophy. Not to just take, but to make sure you give back. The business was started when my great-grandfather migrated here from what was then the Pale between Poland and Russia. And he came over here in 1881 in the midst of the various pogroms that were going on. And he came over here not speaking English and operating out of a pushcart in the Lower East Side. He opened up a pharmacy down there and ended up founding what is now Beth Israel Organization, which is one of the leading organizations in New York City. After a while, he moved to Pottsville, Pennsylvania. His wife started making shirts, and he would sell them on a pushcart at the entrance to the anthracite coal mines very successfully. In those days, in 1881, they were primarily work shirts. We then bought the patent for a collar-attached shirt from an Englishman by the name of Van Heusen, and that's how the trade name became ours. It came about in World War I, when for the first time soldiers wore collar-attached shirts, and they became accustomed to it. They were not very comfortable. They were stiff, they cut your neck. So consequently, when we bought this patent belonging to Mr. Van Heusen, we found a way to weave a collar that would approximate the curvature of your neck. and it became very comfortable and very popular. And a matter of fact, there's a picture of Ronald Reagan. He was one of our first advertisements for this collar. Van Heusen is the #1 brand in America today. And so we're rather proud of that. I went through the conventional portion of Jewish upbringing, it was bar mitzvah. But you must remember that in those days, the main emphasis was on assimilating. The main interest was on economic growth. I felt a little guilty about being assimilated because I had gone to an assimilated college, Princeton, where they had very few Jews. And I was aware of the fact that there was a very important role for Jews to play in the world of helping the world. I am very proud of American Jewish World Service as being a major accomplishment in my life and of the Jewish community. It has done exceedingly good work in lots of parts of the world, and there is so much more to be done. There is so much more hunger and poverty in the world, like 2 billion people out of 6 billion who are in need. It's hard to imagine that need going unfulfilled. And so therefore we haven't scratched the surface. But we're continuing to scratch and continuing to try and meeting with, I think, considerable success.